Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. It has been, shall we say, at least a crazy 24 hours. We of course had a little bit of sad news from the UK, from the Queen passing, but also BTC have been pumping like crazy, and that has really changed all the cards on the table, all the levels, all the scenarios. I am going to show you exactly what I'm looking out for, what kind of scenarios I am now searching, and what are the levels that I want to trade. If you like this kind of content, then please do me a favor, like and subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think it is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I post multiple times a day to keep you updated about all the good stuff that's going on in the market. Now without further ado, let's start diving into the BTC USD pair, and we're starting off here. You know what, let's do the 1 hour. There we see the tremendous pump here of BTC. The pump happened when I was asleep. That was I think Tokyo time, and we're already up I think 8 or 9% from that moment on. Really nice run. I think it's 13% measured from the bottom, and you would say right away, well, are we then reaching resistance? Yes, we do. I actually entered the short earlier, but I got stopped out right away at entry because I thought that this candle right here would be the swing fill pattern and then going lower. That didn't happen. All good, no worries. But the scenario that we had here of the price going higher to the golden pocket here and then reverse again, and then also coinciding with the resistance here, because there was such a strong support. So well, now then it must flip into very strong resistance. That didn't happen at all, so it was quite the surprise, I'm not gonna lie. Then we can also take off this fib retracement. Now let's say we would approximately around this level go lower, then of course we also pull a fib from the top to the bottom, and then our golden pocket is right here at these candles at approximately 19,500 ish. That actually would be a nice level to go lower and then maybe bounce off from again, or to go all the way lower, but I will talk to you about the scenario in just a second. Why are we finding resistance? Well, we have a macro point of control, so that's from the bigger time frame that we're looking at. We have this local point of control right here at approximately 21,400 to let's say 21,500, and we have the value area low also at this level right here from this local trading range. And we still had these single prints here that we just moved down so fast and that we never really had a retest, and the same we also had here that went so fast, and because it went so fast we never really had a retest to the upside, or at least 1 or 2 times a bounce. That also therefore had no opportunity to really build up a bigger short, and if we are dumping down in so fast, then there is a chance for us to also pump all the way up super fast again. Now there are a few scenarios that I am looking out for. One of them is that we are now getting back into this range, finding acceptance, and then eventually going higher or going lower. So the range is then approximately at 21,700 ish to here this 21k, shall we say. I think that's a pretty good range. We can go back in there, find acceptance, and then eventually go higher or lower. It could also be that we're now just going in, or we're rolling over from this point and say, okay, that was it, and now we are going lower again. And then eventually, if let's say we would also break the golden pocket that we just drew out right here at the 19,500 ish, then of course I'm looking for the value area low, and that was just underneath here. That is now at 18,000 something. Let me quickly pull this out, the bigger volume node, then we can see right away. Yeah, perfectly. So that is then here at let's say 18,900. This point of control is for most charts a little bit higher. Matter in fact, it is actually where I just drew the box. So that is this level here, 21,500 ish, which then also coincides with this local trading range. You can see on the chart, if I zoom in here, that point of control, which actually for me is more important, is that we also had quite the trading around that level. So bounces off, in, out, acceptance, resistance. So that could be a nice position to build up a short. Let's say we would go even higher, then we would go to the value area high of the very big range, approximately 22,500 to let's say here at the top 23,000. The range here is a little bit bigger. that is actually crazy enough also then the target of the breakout from this falling wedge. And I said, well, I don't really trade it because it's probably pretty big, but actually now looking back at it, since we also had these swift move downs with not really any retest in these areas right here, then it is to be expected that once we break it, we also recover those areas quite fast again. If we would not go to the top, so let's say that we would reject all the way from the point of control where we almost are, 21,500, and we would go down again, I actually think that the golden pocket is not going to hold, and maybe also not this low, because we still have not retested the 17,600. And I said it multiple times before, I think the bottom is not in. Also, because we had this dump, what we talked about in the last video, the value area low that was first approximately around this level is now here at 18,900-ish. And therefore we have barely a trading range underneath that value area low, what we usually have when you are making a trading range like we had here on the top. As you can see, we had a trading range here, quite a big trading range over here, until we eventually went lower, and we still don't have that on the bottom. And the whole inflation story, everything that's going on with the markets, it is still very much in place. Supply chain problems are still very much in place. So far I'm just treating this as a rally within a bigger bear market, because I don't have to tell you, if we zoom out on the daily, it still looks very, very bad. Now we can discuss for a very, very long time what is the top and what is the bottom. For now that is not important. This is just our trading range, and this is how we are going to act on it, and we have our areas marked on the map. If we also, let's say, go all the way up, then there is actually also a nice other confluence, and that is that if we would go take the fit retracement from the bottom here to the top all the way here, that the golden pocket is also very close to this value area high. So starting off from 22,500 to 23, and we also have a few support and resistance flip. Those are the yellow lines at 22,800, 23,000. Then we have the golden pocket. So this whole area actually from 23,000, now you know what, yeah, let's say 23,000 here until here. That area is a little bit bigger, but it's actually a very nice trading range if we would come up there from this point of control, go up there, stay there for a little bit, and then nuke south eventually. Funny thing is, because of this big pump, September is now in the green, and usually people say it's wrecked September or Rectember because it's traditionally one of the worst months in history. But if I now would zoom out to the monthly candle, then we see, because of this pump, we are now up 5% for this month. Be very, very careful. There's still, of course, 3 weeks to go, but it is interesting to see that so far we had a week lower and now we are going higher. So maybe we are finally breaking the spell. It's just interesting data. Of course, what we could also still do, and that is still a scenario that I'm looking out for, is that we are pumping higher, going sideways, and then going lower again. Then it was just a bar pattern that could very much play out. For now, it looks like this was just a short squeeze because people were so bearish, and then eventually, boop, the price goes higher. All the shorts need to be closed out. That's the squeeze, and then they trigger automatically a buy, and therefore the price just goes extremely higher. Then let's quickly head over to the indicators that I want to show you, and that is that the hourly momentum wave, yes, is coming down, but the money flow is still coming up. Unbelievable, quite strong. 4 hourly, yes, we are getting oversold. Money flow is now in the green again. But the real party actually is on the lower time frames. Unbelievable. Look at this money flow here on the 30-minute. Incredible how green it is. The momentum wave, yes, is coming down, but just another move up, and we have a green dot again, and we're making maybe something as a lower high, and then a higher high on the price actually would be very interesting, because then let's say it would be here in this support and resistance box, and we could short it and then see how long the trade will last. And also, if we're looking at the 15-minute, there we're already slowly seeing that the money flow kind of wants to curve down a little bit. Momentum waves are coming down. Of course, is to be expected after such a big pump. And if I look at, let's say, the 5-minute, then you're really seeing that money flow is really already coming down here. Oh, let me change the color quick to white. They're coming down here. Momentum waves also coming down, but an overbought or oversold level in these huge pumps and dumps doesn't really mean a thing. I'm saying this over and over and over again. I know it sounds like a broken record, but then you actually really want to zoom out to the bigger time frame, say, okay, where are we now, and how much could we go? So that's exactly what I now wanted to do. So again, major levels are now then these approximately 21,500 ish. Then above us is then the value area high. We have there the golden pocket, value area low of the local trading range, support and resistance flip. So that starts off from 22,300 to, let's say, 22,300 to approximately 23,000. Also expect a lot of resistance there, and if we are going lower, I think sooner or later we will eventually take out again these lows, and maybe test these lows, and then we could see a severe up rally. Now, interesting, if we're going to the S&P, because Bitcoin a lot of times moves with the S&P. Let me quickly zoom in first to the 15-minute, because there we had the uptrend, which said, well, you know what, we're going down, we're hitting here the golden pocket, approximately 3,877 to 3,900 to this golden pocket. Maybe then we reverse down and test it again. That didn't happen because yesterday we had a little bit of an up day, not tremendously, and now we are just completely breaking it, so I can take that one out. We're still keeping the macro fit retracement on the screen, but I drew one extra, and that is the one actually from the bottom to the top. So not from the top to the bottom, but from the bottom to the top. And what could then happen is that this thing goes higher to the golden pocket, measured from this top right here to the bottom right here, to the golden pocket, and then retrace again. I think if we are going to revisit this golden pocket, it will not hold, and we are coming into that support and resistance box that we already drew out for quite some time. That move would definitely make sense. The upside to that golden pocket is not that much anymore, 0.8%. If we would take the absolute top, then of course it's a little bit more. Then I think we will not make it today, but that is then approximately 2.5% from here. Now that will be probably too much on a Friday, but if we would reverse there, that would make sense. And still, of course, we have that diagonal line here that we said, well, this might be support and resistance, because it has been support and resistance quite some time. Doesn't come down to exact dollar, so yes, we are now trading above, but let's say we would nuke south during the day session, then I still see this as acceptable support and resistance. And of course then after that the golden pocket, and then maybe even higher. That would actually also then coincide with our very strong support and resistance of 4,165. But let's take it day by day, trade by trade, level by level. I am, by the way, not trading this. I'm just using this as a leading indicator for Bitcoin, because if the S&P goes up, Bitcoin goes up. If the S&P goes down, Bitcoin goes down. And then the other way around is then for the dollar index. And with that being said, the dollar index, we can say, really now broke down. Let me, by the way, just take out this line right here. We had then that rising wedge already shown multiple times here on the channel, went higher, now breaking down, retest, going lower. So far that worked out. Then the big scenario of or a double top or kind of a Wyckoff distribution is still in play. If that happens, the last mentioned, so the Wyckoff, then we could go lower, trade here a little bit, maybe retesting this 105, and then go up one more time. Then this high needs to be lower than this high right here. Very important. If it makes a new high again, then it's still just a bull trend, and we're just going higher and higher and higher. But this also makes sense that why S&P is pumping and BTC is pumping is because the DXY is taking a breather, it's taking a dump. Actually, we also saw it a little bit already in the indicators, money flow coming down, momentum waves coming lower, so it is to be expected that this thing takes a breather. I'm not saying this is the ultimate top, because again, you know, my target is the ultimate top, I think, or at least my macro target is between 112 and 120, top from a few years ago, but that is still what I'm looking out for. So again, the two scenarios are maybe a double top or maybe a Wyckoff distribution, and then the second top, which then could be somewhere in October or November, then should be lower than the current top of 110, and now support and resistance locally is the 109, then the 108, and if we break that as well, then I'm looking out here for the 105, and then we have to see what we do here with the support and resistance box, if we just slice through or if we find their support and resistance again before we are going lower. 4-hour RSI, 4-hour momentum wave looks almost like it wants to tilt over. So I mean, this thing of course has to wave up and down, but the money flow is coming down, the RSI is coming down. So this move was a little bit to be expected. Depending on completely on the news and everything that happens in the macros, that will depend if the dollar index will rally up again after this breather, or if we really maybe now see a longer period of time of a downtrend. You know where I am eyeing on is that I think the dollar index is not done yet, because like I said already many times before, I think we haven't reached the bottom for the stock markets. I think we haven't reached the bottom for BTC. I think we haven't peaked out for inflation yet. I want to see more data. I want to see more confirmations before I'm saying, you know what, the worst could be over. So far, we are right in the middle of all the shit. I'm sorry. There are no other words. It is just that terrible. Like I said, as always, for BTC, we just take it day by day, trade by trade, level by level, and you now know what I am looking out for. And when you have these major pumps, again, then it's just better to step back, zoom out, look at the broader perspective. Where are we now? What could be possible scenarios for the next couple of days or weeks? And that is then how we trade accordingly. And after that, you zoom in to really like day trades and levels and all that kind of good stuff. Alright guys, that will be it for now. Hope you like this kind of content. If you do, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the description. And see you guys very, very soon again in the next one. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.